What a way to start your day. Cousin Sean, hip hip hooray.
Hello, this is Richard Gleave from the Milton Keynes Branch of the Motor Neurone Disease Association. James Tully and Thea Cooper of Stony Radio have generously made it possible for you wonderful people of Stony Stratford and Milton Keynes in general to help us to help our local people with MND. We provide whatever help we can in the form of equipment, computers or general support and advice. If you have even £1 or £2 to spare, please go to the Stony Radio website, click on the About tab, and there you will see a Donate button. As someone once said, every little helps, and it really does. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Richard Gleave there. And I have Dan in the studio with me, and he's here to talk about the MNDA, which is the Motor Neurone Disease Association, and we have a branch based here in Milton Keynes, don't we?
We certainly do, yes, thank you.
And so you've come in to talk about it. Talk a little bit, so in case people don't know, Dan, talk a little bit about MND.
Okay, so motor neurone disease is a life-limiting illness for which at the moment we have no cure. They say life-limiting because we don't talk really about lifespan because everyone's different. There's so many different varieties, in a sense, of MND that it can get really difficult and confusing. But the important thing to know is it takes people's lives away from them slowly, bit by bit. And not only for them, but for their families, for their loved ones. It's very much like watching a living bereavement, and most of the volunteers that work within the branch have personal experience of watching people fade away from motor neurone disease.
That's sometimes the thing, isn't it? When you or a loved one has experienced something traumatic like that, it kicks you into going, right, I'm going to try and make a difference so that other people
Absolutely.
don't have this problem, and it eases it for other people.
Absolutely, and we've got some famous examples of that at the moment, of course, because of Doddy Weir and Rob Burrows, who are the famous people from the rugby world that have sadly contracted, and I'm afraid Doddy has now passed away. But Kevin Sinfield, for instance, who's an absolute inspiration because of his friends, is still doing wonderful things for motor neurone disease. But that's replicated right through the, if you like, MND family, the MND world. And I know a particular young woman, for instance, who doesn't live in Milton Keynes anymore, whose father died of motor neurone disease a few years ago, and she is still putting on her running shorts and trogging off 26 miles every now and again and raising fantastic money for our cause, which is all raised locally and spent locally on local people with motor neurone disease and people affected by motor neurone disease.
Absolutely. And when you came in, I asked you for some music, and you said Trish Abey. Tell me about Trish. Why did you choose this?
Trish Abey. Well, Richard, who did the advertisement that you just played, he did some work with Trish. He's a music producer, and he helped produce a CD. To be honest, the musical side of these things I'm not overly familiar with. But
the thing is, though, you like Trish music, that's what matters.
when Trish was diagnosed, she then produced a CD of her beautiful voice before, because some people lose their voice in MND, and before that happened, she produced this wonderful CD. One of the tracks on it, I know for another of the presenters, is like a theme tune. So that's Trish Abey, Georgia on My Mind. She was from Leighton Buzzard.
And this is our Thea's show, isn't it?
This is Thea's show, on a Friday lunchtime.
Absolutely. Here we go. Here's Trish Abey, Georgia on My Mind.
Georgia, the whole day through. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. I said, Georgia, Georgia, a song of you comes as sweet and clear as moonlight through the pines. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you. I said, Georgia, oh Georgia, no peace I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you. Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Stunning that was excuse me, Trish Abey with Georgia on my mind, with Rick Sanders from Fairport Convention and Mr. Nick Beggs on bass. What a gorgeous song, produced obviously by the lovely Richard Gleave. I thought you were coming in until I checked my emails this morning, Richard, so it's very nice to have Dan here. So Dan, you'd like people to do ridiculous things to raise funds and raise funds for our local branch, wouldn't you?
Do anything. I mean, you know, look, if you've got plans to do something, and you think you might be able to raise some funds for charity, what I'm saying is this is a really good local charity to raise funds for. So you're more than welcome to contact me. I can give out contact details, and we can talk about these things. You know, only on Saturday we had a quiz that was organised for the branch that raised just under £500. And that money will go for local people for things like they may need a stair lift.
Yeah.
Sadly, we only rent stair lifts. We haven't put in for people, and we pay the rental when we can because it's not worth buying them. Yeah. Sadly.
No. But you have to be practical like that, because it saves the organisation money and it helps more people.
Absolutely.
So it's a very practical thing to do. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to bake cakes, or if you're wanting to jump out of a perfectly good aeroplane, or whatever you want to do, you know, if you're looking for a charity to raise funds for, then I would commend the Motor Neurone Disease Association as a whole, and the branch specifically. This is really important. If you do a Just Giving page, you must specify if you want the money to go to the branch. if you just put MND Association, it will go to national office, which is great.
Yeah.
But it's not as great as coming to the branch.
Absolutely. So if you were to, because I've put a link on our Facebook group to the actual association, can you find the local branch on there?
Yes, absolutely.
You can.
Yes.
Right. So find the Milton Keynes branch on there. I've put it on our Facebook group. So a bit of info on the MNDA. Now we're going to play Junction 14 Choir. Wonderful bunch of women. I've done a few workshops with them over the years. They're lovely women and they are just amazing singers. So they've recorded Somewhere Over the Rainbow. What's their link to the MNDA?
So one of their members, Amanda, sadly passed away from motor neuron disease, and she was our link to Junction 14, because that they knew her. We became their charity of the year for their Christmas appeal.
Awesome.
And they did some beautiful singing for us. And then they came, and we have a drop-in on the first Thursday of every month. And they came to the drop-in and sang for us, and that was absolutely awesome.
Fantastic. Where is the drop-in?
The drop-in is at the Age UK building in Pear Tree Bridge.
Oh, that easy to get
Chad's
to.
Lane.
Just
easy
off the
to
V8.
easy to get to, easy to park. It's we meet from about 11:45 till about 2 on the, as I say, the first Thursday of every month. We don't meet in January or August. And we have some fantastic volunteers there, I can't tell you, who will look after people, whether you are someone who's living with MND, whether you're a family member, whether you're a family member of someone who's already passed away. Absolutely welcome to come along, have a drink, have a bit of cake, and
talk to people who understand.
We talk about life, you know. We do not talk about. It's not morbid, or it's not, it's not all doom and gloom and everybody being sad because people are ill. It's all about life and having fun while we're here.
That's really important. Grasp the moment. Okay, this is Junction 14 Choir, Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Chimney tops, that's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? Happy little blue
Junction 14 Choir live. I'll just drop some CDs on the floor because I'm a professional broadcaster, as you well know. That was Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and of course it was a live song. That was lovely. They are lovely women. They are, I mean, I talk about Milton Keynes Women's Choir as a singing sisterhood. So are Junction 14. They are superb. They do great workshops, and that was a lovely song. So, Dan, other events that are coming up, apart from wanting people to do something crazy or something really simple, or even just make a donation, what events have you got coming up?
Well, I mean, you know, all sorts of national events, you know, there's all sorts of running, cycling, all sorts of events that you can kind of find out about. Very locally, we have the, oh my word, Concrete Calves Band on the 8th of July, are at All Saints Church, Wilham Road, Milton Keynes Village for us.
Yeah. Now, doors open at 7. The concert starts at 7:30, and there are refreshments available. And I'm going to put a link to their page or their website, sorry, on our page, because not only have they got concerts coming up and they're doing this to support your organisation, they're actually an adult woodwind group. They're looking for members if you are under grade 5. So you don't have to be an expert. This is about bringing yourself on, bringing woodwind players on from basic level to grade 5. What an absolutely brilliant thing. And you get to do concerts as well. So that's great. Wicked. Yeah, so I will definitely be sharing this. So we've got that. What else is coming up? So
we've got an early shout out for the 24th of September, which is a Sunday at 2:00, is our what we call Walk to Defeat. And it would take too long to explain why we call it that, but basically we walk, we raise money, we very often have something nice to eat and drink as part of that event, and we walk various distances. So in previous years, and normally we've walked around Emberton Park, the lakes, which is about just under 2 miles, I think, if you do the full circuit. So we have people of all abilities walking and raising money through sponsorship, or you can actually make a donation and walk for yourself if you like, if you don't want to tell your mates that you're going on this walk. So
or bring your mates.
There's all sorts of things we can do, yes, and or bring your mates. Can I give them my email address?
Yes, of course you can. Yeah.
So if anyone wants to contact me regarding the branch, it's dan.russell@MND Association, so it's association in full, .org.uk. That'll come through to me as an email, and I'll be able to respond to any requests anyone's got.
Dan.Russell, is it double S and double L?
It is double S and double L.
Jolly good. At MND Association. Yeah. Association is one big long word. .org.uk.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
That's all right. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for joining me. I've just about to put a link to the Concrete Calves on our website, on our Facebook group, and I shall also put Dan's email address up there if you want to get in touch with him. Thank you for coming in this morning, my lovely.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to play this next track for my gorgeous friend Alex and for her lovely mum Amanda, who we lost due to that disease very, very recently. Big love to you and you all, my darlings.